on, keyboard students. Welcome to the second class. We're going to be doing a quick review and quiz because if you don't know the answers to these, I recommend that you go back to my first video, and I'll put a link for the first video in the description box below. I just don't want you guys to fall behind. Okay, so how many minutes a day should you be practicing? Hit a middle C for me with the first finger of your right hand. Hit the E key with the third finger of your right hand. Okay. Hit the G with the fifth finger of your right hand. Now hit the A with the second finger of your right hand. Okay, I'm going to get a little tricky now here. Hit the B with the second finger of your left hand. Hit an F with the fourth finger of your left hand. Go ahead and play the C major scale for me. What key is a whole step from the middle C? What key is a half step from F? What key is a half step from B? And it can be on either side, left or right. Play an E minor chord for me. Play a C chord for me. Play a G chord for me. And play a D chord for me. Okay, so in 4/4 time, how many beats are in a measure? Okay, if you feel like you did well on that quiz, then it's time to move on. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you some piano theory, like how to read and locate notes on a piece of sheet music, and I'm also going to teach you some more chords. So when you play the piano, make sure that your fingers are in a curved motion, like you're holding a bubble, but you're trying not to pop it. The reason why we do our fingers curved as piano players is because if they were straight, then you notice that all of your fingers are different lengths. Curving it makes your fingers similar lengths, and that's what we want. Let's review our songs from last week. So this song, Mighty to Save, was the first song I assigned to you. We were going to be working on the intro, verse 1, and the chorus. So let's start with the intro and verse 1 first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. E minor, 2, 3 and 4 and 2, 3 and 4 and okay. Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G. 2, 3 and 4 E minor. 2 and 3 and 4 and D. 2 and 3 and 4 N. Very good. Let's work on verse 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 G. 2, 3 and 4 E minor. 2 and 3 and 4 D. 2 and 3 and 4 and C. 2, 3 and 4 G. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I forgot to teach you guys that the C, D, C and D each get only 2 beats. So just 2 counts on that. And if it helps, go ahead and write it next to the note. So all the other notes gets 4 counts except that C, D, C, D. Okay, let's practice that together. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again. Let's do that together again. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 C. 1 and 2 D. C. 3 and 4 and very good. Now on to the chorus. So we're going to be working on the chorus now of Mighty to Save. And if you can see here, I labeled how many beats per chord. So the G and the D and the G and the D, they all get 4 beats. However, the C, G, E minor, and D gets only 2 beats. Okay, so let's try to do that together. Ready? Let's count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G, 2 and 3 and 4 D, 1 and 2 and 3 and C, 1 and 2 to the G, E minor. Now G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to the D, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to the C, 1 and 2 G, 1 and 2 E minor, and D, and 2 and. So I just did the chorus. Let's do that again together, okay? So let's count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 D chord, and 2 and 3 and 4 and C, 1 and 2 to the G, and 2 E minor, 2 and 1 and 2. Now to the G again. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 to the D, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and to the C, 1 and 2 to the G, 1 and 2 and 2 and to D, and 2 and. Very good job. And don't worry if you can't keep up with my timing. That's what's great about these videos. You can do it at your own pace. Okay, so it takes practice in order to stay in time, so make sure you are practicing. The other song that I assigned to you all was the canon, the first 4 measures of the canon. So this should be easy. Remember, 4 beats per measure. So let's do that together. Start on C. Let's count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to the G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to A minor, 2 and 3 and 4 and E minor, 2, 3, 4. Okay, again, one more time. Start at the top, C chord, but let's make sure to count together. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to the G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to A minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to E minor, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Very good. I'm going to be teaching you all some music theory now. Some may think this is the boring part of learning how to play the piano because you just want to play, but this is actually very essential in order to be a good piano player and to know what you're doing. So I recommend buying some flashcards like these. I got these at Amazon. They're probably only $5, but I got them a long time ago, like maybe 30 years ago. And this is how I learned how to sight read music. I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to read actual sheet music. So this over here is called a G clef or a treble clef. Okay, this is the key signature in a piece of piano music, and this is a treble clef. And you guys know this one, 4/4. That's the time signature, right? So anytime you see this, it usually means that you play the following notes with your right hand. There's some instances where you play with your left, but that's way advanced, so I won't confuse you right now. So it usually means you're playing with your right hand. So these 5 lines, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it makes up the music staff. So that's what it's called. It's a music staff. This, the one that looks like an ear, is the bass clef. And it usually means you're playing with your left hand. Okay, so this is the notes on this staff usually means you're playing with your left hand. And when you're learning to read notes, this is a trick that all piano players know who have been classically trained, is the notes on the spaces. So there's lined and the spaces. So the notes on the spaces make up face, the word face. So that's F-A-C-E. Okay, and then to remember the notes on the lines, it's E, G, B, D, F. It could also be every good boy does fine. This F right here, the F right here is this F, closest to the middle C. It's this F. So when you're going on the spaces, let's go back up here again, the spaces on the music staff, F-A-C-E, it's F, here's middle C, it's F-A-C-E. And then the E for the every good boy does fine on the line starts right here. It's the E. So that's why it's so important that you know where your middle C is, because that's usually the bass line whenever you play piano. Remember how I taught you the C major scale? C major scale again. Let's do that together. C, D, E, tuck it under, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, good. And it has no sharps or flats. So there it is written out. Let's go to the bass clef, the left hand. The spaces on the bass clef is A, C, E, G. Or a trick is all cows eat grass. This one for the lines, this is what I was taught. They probably changed that saying though, but great big dogs fight animals. So G, B, D, F, A. So that's just a trick. If you want to know what note is it, and then on the left hand, that A, that first A is all the way over here. So it's A, C, E, G. All cows eat grass. And then the G for the great big dogs fight animals is right here. Great big dogs fight animals. Again, G, B, D, F, A. Here's a cleaner copy. You can get this at piano-keyboard-guide.com, and I'll put that in the description box below. This is the last piece of theory that I'm going to be teaching you for today, and then we are going to translate it into our music that we've been learning, because I know that's the fun part, is actually playing the music. That note right here that's filled in and colored is called a quarter note, and you hold it out for one count. A note that looks like this, where it's empty, it's not colored in the center, is called a half note, and it's held out for 2 counts. And this is called a whole note right here, if you see it on a piece of sheet music, and that's held out for 4 counts. And this is taken into consideration that it's a 4/4 time song, which is the basic. Here's your treble clef, and what hand do we play a treble clef with? If you said right hand, you're correct. Here's our time signature again. So this is, I put a 2/4 here. So like I said at the last video, the upper figure is how many counts to a measure. The lower figure means each quarter note gets 1 count. If it's a 4, sometimes there's an 8 on the bottom, that means each 8th note gets a count, but I won't go into that right now. These separating bars separates each measure. So these are each a measure, and I taught that to you when we were doing the canon. Using that theory that I taught you guys, here is a new song that I am going to teach you. It's very simple, more simple than you think, and you can get it off of music-forum-music-teachers.com, and I will put a link in the description box below. We learned some notes, how to read some notes, right? If you need to label, go ahead, but using what I taught you guys. So remember, every good boy does fine, and then E, D, C. Remember when I did the C scale, that little model of the C major scale that I showed you? This is what it looks like, and it's that 4/4 time, okay? So watch. So E, and that E is the one closest to the middle C, E, and then the D, and then that's the middle C right here. So, do you remember what these were called? So these are half notes, so they get 2 beats. And this is a whole note, so it's 4 beats. Okay? Then do you remember what the ones colored in were called? They're called quarter notes, and they get 1 beat. And then again, half notes, whole note. So let's do this one together. Okay, ready? So let's start. Get your finger positioning in. Let's start with the 3rd finger. See? 3rd finger of your right hand. And let's play it together. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C. 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the piano it looks like this again. Let's count together from the top. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 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 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and very good. So for the canon song, I'm going to have you work on the first now 8 measures of the song. I'm going to teach you the F chord. It's very simple. So there's no sharps or flats. So it's just F, A, C. 1, 3, 5. So I want you guys to work on that's going to be your homework, up to this point right here. And then if you feel brave enough, go ahead and add in your left hand. So remember, we learned about music notes and it's written out for you already, but this is the middle C. So with your right hand, you're going to be playing the notes up here, but with your left hand, you're starting at the middle C right here, and you're just going down. So it's C, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 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 2 and 3, 4 and. So that's what the left hand looks like. And then for Mighty to Save, I'm going to have you guys work on the whole song except for the bridge. So don't worry about the bridge. We're only going to work on the intro, verse 1, the chorus, and verse 2 is exactly like verse 1. Each note gets 4 beats except the C, D, C, and D. If you're speeding right through these lessons and you want to add in your left hand, also with Mighty to Save, then I'm going to teach you what you do to add in your left hand. On the left hand, it's basically you just play the octave. On a chord chart, just play the octave on your left hand. And an octave is, octave means 8 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. And that's from C to C. So you just play the octave. So for instance, here on the intro, so it's C. So you play the octave C on your left hand. Okay? While you're playing the C chord on your right hand. And then for G, you just play a G octave, C, G octave. For the E minor, you just play an E octave. And if you're a child learning this and your little fingers can't reach an octave yet, then just play an E note, just one of the notes. You don't have to reach the octave. That takes practice too. And then the D is the D octave. Here's your homework for the second lesson. 1. Work on Mighty to Save song, except for the bridge. 2. Work on the canon song, just the first 8 measures, using both your left and right hand. 3. Work on the pizza song. And 4, make sure you are documenting your practice times on your practice sheets. Remember, 15 minutes a day at least, 5 days a week. And if you feel comfortable playing Mighty to Save song with your left hand, go ahead and practice it with your left hand using the octave that I taught you today. Okay, see you at next class. Bye. Here's the answers to the review quiz at the beginning of this video. How many minutes a day should you be practicing? At least 15 minutes a day. middle C with the first finger of your right hand. E with the third finger of your right hand. G with the fifth finger of your right hand. A with the second finger of your right hand. B with the second finger of your left hand. F with the fourth finger of your left hand. Play a C major scale. And make sure you tuck it in. 1, 2, 3. Tuck it in behind to go to 1. A whole step from the middle C. Here's middle C. Could either be B flat or A sharp, or D. A half step from F, so here's F, can either be F sharp, or this is also G flat, or it can be E. A half step from B, here's B, is either C or B flat, A sharp. E minor chord. E, G, B. C chord. C, E, G. There's a C chord. G chord. G, B, D. And a D chord. D, F sharp, A. How many beats are in 4/4 time? 4 beats. Okay, see you at our next lesson. Bye.